that Mr. R beat Gluto in what, 3 years?
In Ultimate history. Again, I think it's Picana stat. That's what we call it in front, Picana stat. So this is a guy in front that has a lot of statistics about Smash Bros. And all. And he literally tweeted at the moment he won. Yeah, this is the first time he won.
Wow.
In his
and it was only with Sheik. Only with Sheik.
And we are already in.
Let's go.
Going for the Sephiroth.
Yep, this is going to be our first set here. It's going to be Ken versus RAFLOW, and going for the Sephiroth, I'm actually surprised here. We always talk about Ken Sonic for a reason. We heard him talk about Smash 4 for a little bit. He was one of the best players to look at, as well as repping the Sonic all the way through from not only from Smash 4, but obviously into Ultimate.
Yeah, so this is another game plan compared to Sonic. Here you want to bait approaches from RAFLOW and punish them accordingly with your sword and your big wrench. And this is something that he needs to apply, but is, well, RAFLOW going to take the bait? I'm not sure, because he does manage to keep his sense, his nerves and his patience during the whole part of the game. So I don't see him having any issues in that matchup. However, obviously we are talking about, wait, excuse me, not twice.
Catching that jump, catching him in the air right
We
there.
are talking about Ken, and, well, it's Ken Sephiroth something else on another level compared to other Sephiroth we faced. And here catching that B was perfect.
And seeing that we are on battlefields with the triplats right here, you also are going to expect RAFLOW to be able to use the platforms to his advantage, to platform cancel, to mix up his own landing. But notice, Ken knows that. Ken is now going to be able to perfectly space that back here to catch him with.
And that's when you reach the moment where that mix-up actually becomes your go-to option. And this is something RAFLOW became known about. He loves TP cancel on the platform, and why a lot of people... why are you... Okay, never mind. Going for the second stock on both sides here. Losing the wing, though, on the side of Quen, which is going to be kind of problematic, because he would have wanted to keep that, you know, to gain more damage.
And look at the momentum shift immediately. Now that RAFLOW has him by the ledge right here, you saw him try to continue on the Nair strings real quick, but you see now Ken immediately answering back with a Nair of himself. Gets that dash attack, scoops him up, but doesn't catch him off of that platform cancel with his own Nair.
Yes, I think he caught him the first time, and I think now that the lesson has been learned by RAFLOW, he's going to mix up a bit more. However, again, a good advantage. Normally, when he's on edge guarding, he's supposed to be a jailer. Someone doesn't let you get out of the ledge. Someone who gets you to stay there for a minute or two. And it's going to be interesting to see how Ken is going to mix up his recovery from there, and if it's going to be like something RAFLOW can adapt to or not.
And winning this first stage as well is going to be incredibly important, depending on the counter picks that we may witness from Ken.
Yes.
Remember, the players have to announce which character they're going to go first before they jump into the stage selection.
So for that game, it's even when you think about it. Both players had their own advantage. They both resetted to neutral when they wanted to, like, they felt less confident about the situation. But for now, they are both trying to find something on ledge, but didn't manage to get stopped now.
Oh, doesn't want that fair. Wing is out and about. See both players,
trying
to go for the back air. You absolutely love it. But in that situation, Ken needs that space. You see him get the scoop up. He almost was able to get that fair as well, though. You saw the air dodge coming in. And now you can see RAFLOW making his way back to the stage, 150.
But he needs to be wary because of that wing. Again, finding a good back air here. This is what's missing on the side of RAFLOW because of the range, as you were saying. That shield sure is invulnerable, can help in a few mix-up, in a few like clanking between two hits. But when you're facing a sword so long as the one as well Sephiroth, there are moments you won't be able to do anything. And this is what's happening now. And the wing is still on there.
And that's amazing for Ken in his win situation. Only being at 108. Oh, great grab right there. Tries to get the explosive flame follow, but Ken dropping all the way down so that way he could go for that low recovery. You see now RAFLOW trying to actually get the follow-up with these backers. He's trying to catch Ken jumping right there. He gets a dash attack instead.
Yes, if the back air is not going to connect, go for the dash attacks. The same option, the same properties with that shield, and it's a good option considering that you can just get in, avoid that sword with that, and try to get a kill. Finding a good back air who bad DI, I think, on the side of Ken here, but resetting the whole situation and removing again that wing of the table.
I hear screaming in the back here too.
Obviously.
We don't even have the audience yet too. I love it humming because it's only gonna be the start here.
This is just a glimpse of what to expect from tomorrow.
I love it. You see the rising nairs coming in out of shield. You're stuck by the ledge here, but the way that Ken has been spacing these back airs and now trying to space out with these fairs is incredibly intimidating because RAFLOW is giving that same sort of respect, like with the shield properties like you were talking about before. You want to try to approach this way, but how do you find that distance when that sword is so big?
Exactly, and you can see why Ken loves Sephiroth compared to Sonic both. characters require patience, and this is what he's showing to us. Look at the timer already. Oh, okay.
I was scared because he's at 98%. Of course, the higher percent, the less ledge invincibility. Yeah.
But yeah, already 5 minutes in, and the person ramping up little by little on the side of Palutena. We still haven't seen a good big string from both sides, which is quite interesting, because normally when you play Palutena, you're looking for those nair strings, one after the other at the beginning of the stock, and we haven't seen one of them ever now.
I feel like it's a mix of respect, but also the way that Ken is spacing himself. You said the patience, and for a reason, you see the high recovery, not even opting to go for a platform.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it was sure he was going to try it, but the timing and the spacing wasn't great. I would have wanted it to connect, though. That would have been fun.
That would have been that would have been something else. I mean, that wouldn't be the most surprising thing we've seen all day so far. Try to catch him with the auto reticle real quick.
Finding a nair here, getting the stage control, but the back air again and again doing wonders on the side of Ken, enabling him to... What? Ah, come on!
It's the spacing. It's the spacing. You gotta slice and dice it with the butter knife sometimes. And the back air and the way that Ken was able to keep himself away, even avoiding that up smash is big.
Yes, that was
a big move.
And I was wondering if his hand would have connected with it or not, and no. And that's the problem in that matchup when both players are going to pull the trigger. One of them is going to pull the trigger with a shotgun. The other one is going to use a rifle, a sniper rifle, from the other side of the terrain. And that's what happened here. Again, the up slash is a good option covering the jump, and that's also what happened on the side of Ken. You could see that the option was good, the coverage of the option was good. The only difference is the length of the sword and, well, the spacing itself.
What's scary is that we know that Battlefield with the triplets is obviously very good for Palu for the reasons that we were talking about, the TP cancels, etc.
And the strings, but he didn't.
He couldn't. And I'm wondering now, looking at them going right back to Battlefield, the fact that he doesn't need to work with a lot of space, this stage and the size of Battlefield is working into his game plan where the whole time he knows the capacity and the length that RAFLOW could actually execute these nair strings on the platforms, but he's putting himself in a position where that isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Not even landing on the platform, not even giving the opportunity for a nair press.
And I want to talk about it. Look at the time they spend on the platforms. It is like a minute or 5 minutes or so. They spend so much time on the main platform. You can understand that Ken is just, like, in a way, managing the space quite perfectly. Because, look, he's on the platform now, but he's going to get down again because Ken isn't moving from the main platform.
He's like, all right, I know you're going to come down. I know you're going to try to contest me here. You can't approach me with back here because you touched my shield. I'm going to nair out a shield instead. I'm going to do rising nair out a shield. Here you go with another edge guard situation. He tries to go for a back air, but great timing from RAFLOW's part right there because he was able to escape on the other side of Ken because he actually pulled the trigger on that back air too early.
Yes, again and again the same situation. Now a good it's quite hard actually to kind of edge guard Sephiroth because of all the options, all the mix-up with that sword on edge.
And the hitbox is so big.
Exactly. And because of that, you could see that the situation got completely reversed because again, pow! My goodness, catching again and not be on the terrain. Ken is just, well, getting into the mind of RAFLOW now.
Even if we see RAFLOW try to opt to go for the high platform instead of trying to a platform cancel on the sides, he's still prone to getting punished with an up air.
Oh, yeah, because Ken is always covering options safely
in the middle
from his side. Even if he's not covering a good option, in the end, he can't be punished. However, there, for the first time, he was above RAFLOW, and he was there to get him. Perfectly done by the side of the French player, stopping the bleeding, but already a good phase from the side of Ken again. And you can see him going for the nest, finally finding what we call the Palutena attacks here. Only finding 26%, the good SDI, I think, on the side of Ken.
Gotta tip the taxi good here if you want to see even more of those conversions. That was the first time we actually saw some of those nair strings coming out, like you mentioned.
Finally.
It's been so difficult. But even that one raw hit on that platform allowed Ken to get away, reset immediately, and we're back to square one.
Exactly, and more than reverse, take the advantage because you would have expected way more damage from the side of RAFLOW here. And because he left it, Ken left the disadvantage state, he managed to reverse completely the situation, get back in there, and even if he's on the ledge, look at who's moving around, look at who's controlling the ground. This is Ken all along.
Wow, he just stands there too. He's not even worried about the dash attack because he's not really jumping as much now. Look at the patience. He's waiting. RAFLOW with the timing, though. I love it. Empty hops just to see what Ken's going to do. Scoops him up with the down tilt, but the nair, again, pushes him away.
Yeah, again. every time Ken is above RAFLOW, RAFLOW manages to get something in. But there are so few times like this that in the end, he does manage to catch a jump again above him, so perfect. But whenever he touches the ground, this is another story because again of those back airs, those projectiles trying to mix up situation. He did manage to get the counter out, but not the reflect. Finding again the dash attack. This is the second time he takes a stock in that game with that.
Gotta scoop him up, especially when he's trying to desperately land. See these empty hops, you see that RAFLOW really wants to try to at least capitalize off of these back airs, tries to catch him with an up air like he did before, but Ken actually opting for the safety option. He wanted a ledge invincibility instead of even just raw landing on the platform.
And you see him adapt to those situations. So even those situations where, well, RAFLOW had the advantage are starting to disappear little by little because Ken is getting the info and changing the way he wants to land on that platform little by little. Here we do avoid the neutral B again, but we get grabbed later on and get back in the same situation, going for an up smash here, trying to get the good timing, but again, not getting punished for it. And you can see already 80-90% now on the last stock of RAFLOW against Ken. It's going...
Oh, he knew. He was just facing the other direction, but he knew he was going to try to teleport to center stage right there.
This is the go-to panic option from RAFLOW, going for those up B on terrain, one after the other. Weird angle, but he does manage to get back nonetheless. And one stock behind again for the French player, and the backer again on the table from the side of Sephiroth.
That was such a strange hitbox up to the side of the stage right there too. Foot still wasn't going to be enough. 129, but still holding on to both your stocks. Meanwhile, RAFLOW on that last stock only at 140, struggling to find a way to even close in that gap because of that back air. You see the respect that the backers build up, but the explosive flame finally, the one option other than auto reticle in that situation that is able to actually close in that gap for RAFLOW.
I think this is the first time he managed to punish a whiff from the side of Ken here. With that overestimation on the tilt, he did manage to get another good tax here with this 56%. And again, he's above him, so maybe he can do something. Just be wary of those back airs. The penalty attacks is not going to do enough. Again, a good here. Again, keeping and catching little by little all those double jumps. I love it from the side of RAFLOW. He's getting back in there. There's no wing. Does he want to go back? No, he doesn't want to crack. Oh, finally doing this here. This is going to be tough now.
I'm actually appalled. If that first auto reticle clipped him, the fact that Ken was so patient, he tried to get the dash attack.
And you have seen the up tilt here, didn't manage to get it out, but already the percent on 100 and 140%. The next dash attack can do it on both sides.
Both these players, both of them trying to go for these back airs. You see the upper coming in, the fair finally connecting from Ken.
Okay, edge guard situation again, trying to get the empty cancel, not managing to get it, was on the platform. There again, going with the double jump, trying to grab something, he didn't manage. The up to cover the recovery, perfect, but is he going, what was that?
Nobody!
Wow!
Oh, he finally hits it, but you saw at the very end that Ken wasn't punishing those TPs on the platform anymore. At that time, Ken was throwing out a lot of those backers and those fairs just to control space.
Yeah, he switched off so many options to punish. Well, like, I can't kill if I cover this option. I'm going to wait for that time where if I go and pull that trigger again, I'm going to grab that kill. Because I know that if I do it at a bad timing or something, he will be there to catch me with a back throw, with a dash attack or something. Because at that percent, he was going to die at the next interaction if he was not secure on, well, the option he was taking.